Statistics for the Boise, Idaho real estate market finally come to an end for 2022. Welcome back to another episode of Mikey's Monthly Market Updates, where we're going to go ahead and cover what happened in the real estate market right here in the Treasure Valley in the month of December of 2022. Now, please stick around towards the end of this video because I'm also going to break down and give you strategies on what's going to happen here in the real estate market and the best ways to look to buy, sell, or invest right here in the Treasure Valley leading into 2023. So let's go ahead, let's dive into the information. Let's see what happened in December and start off with Ada County like we normally do. But quickly, before we begin, of course, my name is Mike Petras with MPRE Residential with NextHome Treasure Valley. And if you have any further questions regarding anything in this video, or you are looking to buy, sell, or invest right here in the greater Boise, Idaho area, please feel free to reach out to me. You can go ahead and get my contact information right above, or please feel free to comment below, more than responsive to them, and would love really to hear your thoughts on what you think is going to happen in the real estate market right here in the Treasure Valley in 2023. All right, let's go. Ada County, December 2022. And as you probably kind of expected, yes, the median home price is still on the way down. As you can see by this graph, the median home price here in Ada County dropped down to $515,000 for the month of December of 2022. That is a significant reduction from the peak of the market that we hit really late May, early June at $602,250 when we started into our market correction. And we can see that we're still dipping down below the median home price that we had at the beginning of January 2022, sitting at $540,000. So if we're looking since the first of the year, Ada County is now down 4.62% since that first of the year, 14.48% since the market correction began in late May, early June. And actually, I threw in that other number there that you can see sitting at $523,250. That is actually going all the way back to median home prices that were available in May of 2021. And that is now down 1.57% as compared to what we had back then. Looking at the 6-month graph, we can actually kind of see some wishy-washiness that really kind of happened since August of 2022. You can see we're at $565 in the median home price, dive down to $540, then back up to $561,500. But we're still kind of on the way down. So is there a stabilization really kind of here? Not as of yet, but I'll get to that a little bit later as to whether or not we should expect stabilization to continue. So if we're looking at what happened really between this month and last month, we are down 1.90% since last month or the last recorded month of November of 2022. Total single-family home inventory for December of 2022 was actually sitting at 1,462 homes available and 569 that actually sold. So if we're taking a look at this graph, the total inventory for total single-family homes in December was sitting at 2.57 months of actual inventory. But the biggest thing I want you to take a look at here, again, because pricing in real estate is supply and demand, you can see that that gap is now starting to significantly come back down to where the buyer's demand really is. Looking at existing home inventory, we can see that that gap is really starting to narrow itself, especially in the overall inventory here in Ada County. We could see that it was sitting at 662 homes available for purchase in December of 2022, and the total homes sold was sitting at 333. New construction has the same trend, but really not to the degree that existing homes really has. We can see by looking at this graph, 800 homes were available for sale in Ada County, and we can see that the total homes that sold in new construction was sitting at 236. But the one thing that I want you to notice here is that the buyer's demand, especially in new construction, since comparative November of 2022, has ticked itself up. So which class really kind of made the biggest overall impact to the median home price in Ada County for December of 2022? Was it existing homes or was it new construction? Looking at this graph, the overall breakdown of existing homes in Ada County, we can see that the median home price for existing homes was sitting at $590,000, which is just a tick down to the $497,000 that we had the month prior, which, if we're looking at percentage-wise, is down 1.4% since last month. But if we look at how much it's came down since the market correction began in late May, early June, sitting at $586,750, we notice that existing homes is actually now down 16.48%. And since the first of the year, when it was sitting at $515,100, we are down 4.87% since the beginning of 2022. Looking at new construction takes a big shot this month. And I almost kind of expected that to happen because new construction also made a big jump in its overall median home price after the market correction had started. Taking a look at this graph, we can see that the median home price actually hit down to $549,995 for the month of December of 2022, which is down 11.76% since the value of $623,237 that you had in November of 2022. Since the market correction at $690 in pretty much late June, early July of this 2022, we are actually down now 20.29% since the market correction began. And if we're looking at the $588,945 since the beginning of the year as to today, we are down 6.62% since the first of 2022. Looking at the total homes sold in new construction over November of 2022 to December of 2022 in comparison, you can see that not as many homes actually sold in November as compared to December. Also, you can see that more lower value homes actually sold in December of 2022 as compared really to November. So I can really kind of see and justify more or less this big giant spread that we had between the 2 months when it comes overall to the median home price. Looking at the average days on market here in Ada County, we can see that they really shot up as compared to last month. But I kind of expect that during the holiday season because not a lot of people really want to be bothered with buying or selling, particularly through the holiday season. But we are sitting at 62 days. So we'll go ahead and get to those strategies for sellers on how to make sure that you're not one of those victims. And looking at the cancels and expireds for Ada County for December of 2022, we can actually see that they've actually headed down since the prior month in November. Why? Because maybe there just wasn't, again, that much active inventory out there and not as many people, say willing to cancel. And we also know that mortgage interest rates have been ticking down. So maybe there are some buyers out there that are a little bit more better qualified to be able to purchase the home instead of having to backing out because the interest rates are on the rise. Looking at the expires, they're on the way tick down too. Maybe it's because there's some sellers out there that are really appropriately pricing their home and really not kind of getting into that aspect of getting into the expired because they waited too long or held on to their price. Or maybe there's some people that are really kind of making the adjustments to make it happen. But either way, we're going to continue to monitor the trend of what's happening with the cancels and expireds. All right, and lastly, just an overall recap of what happened in Ada County for December of 2022. Of course, the median sales price was sitting at $515,000 with 569 homes total sold, which is down a whopping 41% year over year. And the inventory is sitting at 1,462 available homes for sale, which is also up 151.2% year over year. Days on market, again, shot up at 62. So again, we'll go ahead and get to the strategies at the end of this video. And then we'll also stick around because I'm going to go ahead and mention what I think to expect here in the next coming months in 2023 when it comes to the real estate market right here in the Treasure Valley. So let's go ahead and get to Canyon County. Canyon County 2022, again, the same results as Ada County. We can see that the overall median sales price did dip down as compared to November of 2022. As we can see, according to this graph, now the median sales price in Canyon County is sitting at $390,000. And really, since the market correction at the $476,500, we are now down 18.15% since that time. Looking at the first of the year at $424,900, compared to today, we are down 8.21%. And I went ahead and just threw this in there to go back and see what we're looking like in 2021. And you can see at March of that time in 2021, sitting at $386,000. We're up just a tick at 1%, but we'll just have to monitor and see what happens coming up of whether or not we're going to break that threshold. Looking at the 6-month graph for Canyon County, we can see that we've been coming down really back since even July, which was a little bit into the market correction, leading off at $441,995, then down to $440, $426, bounced back up a little bit there in October at $434,814, but steadily again down on the decline. And if we're comparing what happened from December to November of 2022, we are down 6.02% since last month. Total single-family home inventory in Canyon County is following just like Ada County. It is on the way down, probably again because somewhat of the seasonal shift that we always generally have in the slow season during Q4. But maybe it could be a lot because people just kind of don't want to sell in this particular market and the interest rates that they're at. But again, as long as we are narrowing that gap between total supply and demand, we could probably expect to see some stabilization, but we'll cover that a little bit later on. But for December of 2022, the total inventory for total single-family homes in Canyon County was sitting at 953 available homes, with the buyer's demand or the total homes sold sitting at 327, which was sitting at 2.91 months of total inventory. Existing home inventory took a big dip just like it did in Ada County. We can see that it really started narrowing the gap to what really kind of the buyer's demand is at. So we're sitting at 451 existing homes really in Canyon County for December of 2022. And the buyer's demand was ticking down with just a total of 160 homes that actually sold. But that puts our total months worth of inventory in existing homes at 2.81 months. New construction, same kind of trend, coming down a little bit, but not as much as existing homes available inventory. For the month of December 2022 is sitting at 502 homes available for purchase. And we can actually see that the buyer's demand ticked up with the available sold homes in Canyon County at 167, which brings really our month of inventory for new construction in Canyon at 3 months worth of inventory. So which class category actually really affected the overall median sales price in Canyon County? Was it existing homes or was it new construction? Looking at the median sales price for existing homes, we can see according to this graph that is sitting at $642,000 for this month. That is down 5% since the 360 that they had in November of 2022. And since the market correction at 425, which really kind of continued itself out. But we're now down 19.52% since the market correction. And if we're looking at the 390,000 that was there at the first of the year, we're now down 12.30% in those gains made. New construction, same kind of trend, pretty good significant drop down there to 442 in the overall median sales price, down from the 489.90, which puts us at 8.11% decrease since last month. And since the market correction, or at least the peak of the market back at $549,000 back really in kind of like April of 2022, we are now down 19.48% since really kind of the market correction took hold in new construction. And looking since the 465 at the beginning of 2022, we're now down 4.94% since the beginning of that year. So equally, really kind of existing homes and new construction in Canyon County overall made up for the drop in the median sales price for the total single family homes. Days on market, again, much like Ada County, really shot up in Canyon County. And why? Really because of the Q4 deal. Not a lot of people really are looking to buy and sell over the holiday seasons because there's a lot to do for the holidays. So I did anticipate that days in the market going up. But as we start getting into 2023, especially as the seasonal shift starts going into the real estate market, I can expect this to come back down. And looking at cancels and expires too, cancels have been on the way down, again, because there's probably not as much inventory of transactions really kind of going on or people willing to kind of cancel in that aspect. And then there's probably some more buyers that are qualified that are not really having to jump out of say per se loan because interest rates have actually been ticking on the way down since the max that we really hit at 7.37%. So I think that we're going to break into the fives, but we'll go ahead and get into that in a few. But expireds in Canyon County are on the way up, which is just kind of letting me know that there's still a lot of holdouts in terms of the price that they want to get, considering that maybe there's some sellers out there that still think that this is the market that we had, say, a year and a half ago. So if you are really motivated to sell your house, again, sellers, it's really, really critical to appropriately price your house, especially in today's market. So recapping for Canyon County, the median sales price for December of 2022 was sitting at $390,000, down 7% year over year, with the total homes available sitting at 327, which is actually down 40.4% year over year, but the inventory sitting at 953 homes available, up 86.1% year over year, and the days on market sitting at 68. So based on this data, what can we really kind of expect to start happening here in 2023? As we can see over the last few months, inventory has really kind of started to narrow compared to where the buyer's demand is at. And why? Not only really because of a seasonal shift, but also people don't want to rock the boat when it comes to their really awesome interest rate that they locked in. Let's not also forget about inflationary pressures. But as inventory starts coming down to the levels of where the buyer's demand is and starts closing that gap, we can anticipate stabilization to come because we do know that pricing is based on supply and demand. So with inventory on the way down, most likely probably due to a seasonal shift and the above reasons that I had just mentioned, what about the buyers? With inflation seemingly being capped and actually coming down according to the Fed's monetary policies, which you can see in the core CPI and core PCE reports over the last few months, we can anticipate interest rates, mortgage interest rates, to come back down with them. And as long as mortgage interest rates are coming down with inflation, you can expect the buyer's demand to return to our area. Now, do I see inventory coming down to levels to where the buyer's demand supersedes and actually kind of soaks up and puts a pre-pandemic or a pandemic issue back here in the Treasure Valley? No, I don't. I actually see as the real estate swing, the seasonal swing begins really in about Q2 of 2023. I kind of see the buyer's demand being somewhat on pace to what the inventory is, which should bring stabilization back to the Treasure Valley. And you can actually see that starting to happen a bit here in new construction. You can see the buyer's demand ticking up and their inventory coming down. Why? Because the builders are really offering more concessions right now than anybody in the existing home section of things. So it's creating more attraction for those buyers to go to new construction as staying in the existing home inventory. Also, because new construction is a new home. But don't get me wrong, those existing homes and those sellers are also offering concessions at really, really high levels here in the Treasure Valley as well. So they are trying to compete with all the available inventory that is out there to be able to attract the buyer to their particular home. So are we still in a buyer's market right now? Absolutely. The key here in this summary, though, is that as mortgage interest rates do come down, I do anticipate more buyers to come out. I also do anticipate the overall inventory to kind of stay, in pace with what the buyer's demand actually comes back at. So I do see stabilization in home prices returning here to the Treasure Valley and probably not all that far out. So should we see home prices continue to go down at the rates that they have been since the market correction, I'm anticipating that that's going to slow up and stabilize. For more information on what I think is going to happen in 2023, please see my predictions video that I'm going to go ahead and place at the end of this one. So now let's go into strategies for buyers, sellers, investors, and renters alike right now here in the Treasure Valley real estate market. Buyers, let's go ahead and start off with you. Do I see property values continuing on the decline for quite some time to come? And the answer to that question, buyers, is no. For the reasons that I said in the summary section of this video. This, of course, will depend on where mortgage interest rates really land at here over the next time. Now, in my honest opinion, can the Fed actually come in for a soft landing as compared to a recession? Absolutely not. And when a recession actually hits, mortgage interest rates historically come back down, and they do so generally quicker, or they will do so quicker than a soft landing. But of course, you may be asking yourself, what about a recession and employment? Well, of course, employment will be affected, but it mainly seems to be the tech sector right now that is affected, even though a lot of people say that we're not in a recession yet. Well, by definition, we really are. But there are still more available jobs than employees out there willing to fill them. So do I think this recession is going to be as hard as, say, priors? No, I don't. Which means that I still see buyers still being able to qualify and be able to purchase a home. That means when mortgage interest rates come down, which they are currently because of the Fed's monetary policies, I see the buyers starting to come out and your competition come out and return to this market. And that's going to start taking away from that available inventory to be able to stabilize the prices here in the Treasure Valley. The next question you're probably asking yourself is, Mike, where are the mortgage interest rates really going to land? In my honest prediction, if you're waiting for rates to go back into the 3%, that will not happen. And why? It's because the Fed is running off its balance sheet from all the quantitative easing that it did for all that time to keep the rates within the threes. So where do I think the new rate is going to be for mortgage interest rates? Anywhere between 4 and 5.5, but more leaning towards the higher end of that. So if you're waiting for the rates to drop back into the threes, you might miss out on your window of opportunity in this market. The home values are down. Mortgage interest rates are on the way down. This is a buyer's market. So we talked about all your negotiation power and price decreases plus concessions that are out there. So this is really a good time for buyers to come out. Now, is the interest rates kind of high right now? Sure. Now, will you be feeling that pain for a little bit? You probably will, but you'll be able to go ahead and refinance in my predictions, not in that far future, to be able to go ahead and save on that rate. And remember, you're marrying the house, but you're dating the rate, and you can go ahead and refinance for practically free to little or nothing. So buyers, this is a win-win-win for you. And if you're looking to buy here in the Treasure Valley, please feel free to reach out to me. More than happy to represent you and get you the property that you're looking for. Sellers, it's your turn. So are property values still on the way down according to the data that we've seen in this video? Yes, they are. Do I see property values continuing to decrease here in the Treasure Valley for an extended period of time? I really don't. And of course, the percentage of decrease that you had is really kind of depending on where you're at here in the Treasure Valley. So when you go to sell, really the key strategy here is still to properly, appropriately price your home so that you're competitive with everyone else that's competing against you, considering the inventory levels. And the buyer's demand still fully has not returned to the Treasure Valley like say that it was, and it won't be again like it was like a year and a half ago, sellers. So it's really key to make your property as attractive as you possibly can by the value. You might have to do some price decreases, and you may even have to offer some concessions to make your property more attractive to the available buyers that are out there. But the key here is, do I see the buyer's demand to the Treasure Valley starting to come back online to the point to where we stabilize home values and have some more buyers be available for you to go ahead and purchase your home? Yes, I do see that. So, but we still have to be patient to where we're at right now. So sellers, if you're looking to sell, I would love to be able to set up an appointment with you to sit down with you for about 15 to 30 minutes to go ahead and discuss all the strategies and what is happening in your particular location right here in the Treasure Valley so that you can get the most value for your home and be able to sell your house in the quickest amount of time possible in this market today. I look forward to hearing from you. Investors, this is kind of a little bit of an interesting one for you. So are prices and home values coming down? Yes, they have been. Do I anticipate that they'll probably come down maybe a little bit further? Sure, before we start to stabilize. But the other thing that's coming down is rent prices. They have came down a tick. So of course, if you're looking to maximize your capitalization rate, the more money that you do put down, if you're going for a loan on a secondary property, the better. And of course, if you're paying the whole thing off, that is going to be your best capitalization rate that you come. But the values on the rents are starting to tick down a little bit overall here in the Treasure Valley. So that's one thing that you're going to want to take into consideration if you're looking to buy investment properties right here. But of course, this market still is very, very hot, at least in my personal opinion, when it comes to rentals, because there's still a lot of buyers that are coming out here waiting, renting a house and see what is going to be happening with this market before they decide to buy. And of course, renters, like I always say with every Mikey's Monthly market update, you are paying 100% interest rate. Why? Because you're not earning the equity. Instead, you are paying for your landlord's mortgage as it comes across. Of course, right now, are they getting a lot of equity? Nah, not really, okay? But if you are looking to buy, now is a great time to start setting up the process and start laying the foundation for what is going on. Because honestly, I see this starting to stabilize. I see buyers returning to this market. And you, again, like the buyers, would probably want to get in here why this is still a buyer's market and you can take advantage of it fully and then be able to refi a little bit later on down the road when mortgage interest rates start coming down, if that's the direction you wish to go. But if renters, if you're looking to begin and start setting that foundation today, I know great lending agents all over the Treasure Valley. So please feel free to reach out to me. Let's go ahead and get that foundation set and let's go ahead and get you into the home of your dreams. As always, thank you again very much, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And again, my name is Mike Petras with MPRE with NextHome Treasure Valley. And if you are looking to buy, sell, or invest right here in the Treasure Valley, I'd love to be the person that goes ahead and represents you. So please, if you do enjoy what this video talked about, please hit the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so that you're constantly in tune with all the videos that I do come up with. And give me a like too as well. And also, please feel free to comment below, and especially comment if you have any questions. I'm more than responsive, but more than anything, I'd really love to hear what you think is going to happen right here in the Treasure Valley when it comes to the real estate market. So I look forward to seeing your comments below. And of course, if you're looking to relocate from out of state right here to the Treasure Valley, please click in the description below and download my free relocation guide so that way you're in the know before you decide to make the move. You can also find my contact information below in the description as well. So I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to the day that we speak. God bless. Until then, look forward to calling my neighbor. We'll talk then. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.